The story begins with the break of dawn and an orchestra played by the protagonist, Miss Sue, as she prepares for her marriage ceremony. As Miss Sue prepares for her marriage ceremony, she wears a stunning golden dress and tucks a hammer into her leg strap, hinting at her passion for geology. In the bustling city, a crowd awaits Miss Sue's arrival for the annual event with none other than Mr. Sue. During the ceremony speech, the guests hear about the couple's love story and how they have finally come together after ups and downs. The crowd witnesses the couple's moments of happiness as they exchange vows. As the guests chat happily about the couple, Miss Sue suddenly questions Mr. Sue about the premium event ceremony. Calmly, Mr. Sue responds, asking if she is satisfied with the arrangement and if she has figured things out between them. With certainty, Miss Sue agrees to end things there, dramatically ending their relationship amidst the gathering. Now, let's delve into the beginning of their relationship and how they first met. The protagonist of this story is Sue Jishi, a geology doctor who prefers camping in the open air, unlike other ordinary girls. While her students feel scared during the thrilling drive to mountain surveys, Sue Jishi encourages them to hold on and not give up. She aims to explore the truth of the universe, and this dream weighs heavily on her mind. Miss Sue leads a group of students on a climb up a mountain. During observation, she noticed the rocks had weathered significantly due to the thickness of the regolith. She cautions the group to be careful when collecting samples. Later, one of the students, Shang Feng, asks Miss Sue to take a picture with him. He comments that she looks like his favorite actor, Soo Jin. Miss Sue brushes off the compliment and focuses on the climb. Shang Feng slips as they reach the top, and Miss Sue quickly grabs his hand to save him. She explains the geological factors that cause the rock to break into the group. They take a group selfie before descending the mountain. While camping at night, Miss Sue receives a message from her sister expressing her worries. She quickly calls her sister back but is surprised to find a stranger with her sister's phone outside her tent. The narrative shifts towards Mr. Sue, a rich, bossy guy with multiple talents at a young age. Meanwhile, Mr. Sue is back at his office, reviewing some essential documents with his employees. One employee mistakenly mentions the wrong data point, causing Mr. Sue to correct him. The employee quickly realizes his mistake and fixes it. In Mr. Sue's office, his personnel employee, Gao Ling, asks him why he is so angry even after his return from abroad. Mr. Sue responded with frustration, saying he had to wait 2 hours, and no one showed up. Though it tells him that he has made arrangements for her in the evening, which distress Sue. The story shifts its focus to Sue Jishi, who wakes up and finds a guy painting her feet. She kicks him and asks who he is. Another guy rushes in and introduces himself as Fang Jai, Sue Jinking's agent, who is her twin sister. He explains that they are looking for her sister, who has gone missing. Sue Jishi is given a video of Sue Jin, in which she says she is tired and wants to rest. Sue Jishi wonders what happened to her sister, and Feng urges Sue Jishi to take her sister's place. Although initially angered, Sue Jishi soon realizes she has no choice as they are in a moving vehicle. Feng offers her the chance to retire in 3 months. Sue Jin has already received next year's film and television projects, which need to start. She wants to pay liquidated damages, but Sue Jishi asks how much she would have to pay. Feng tells her the damage compensation is 10 million. If they cannot catch the domestic plane within 8 hours, she will have to pay another 3 million. Sue Jishi reluctantly agrees. In another plot, Mr. Sue's mother examines a document and confronts him about a fake girlfriend. She demands to know when he plans to announce their breakup. Mr. Sue denies doing it early and assures his mother that he will never lie. To change her mood, he tells her about a recent business trip and a surprise he brought back for her. His sister, Xiaoman, admires how he handles their mother's emotions. Mr. Sue then instructs Xiaoman to inform Gao Ling and arrange everything for Sue Jin's agent. In Sue Jinquin's house, Feng shows her Sue Jin's resume and other documents. Sue Jishi denies helping them and claims she only wants to prevent her from losing money. Later, Sue Jin's personal makeup designer, Ah Shan, applies makeup to Sue Jishi to make her look like her sister. Despite feeling uncomfortable, Sue Jishi agrees to go along with the plan. Feng advises Sue Jishi to remain quiet and act like her sister to maintain the ruse. He convinces her to change her clothes and wear a dress, which amazes Feng and Ah Shan. However, Sue Jishi does not seem interested in such attire and prefers to wear Feng's coat over it. As Sue Jishi's car arrives, a large crowd gathers around her. She struggles to walk in high heels, but she remembers Feng's instructions and mimics her sister's mannerisms, such as covering her chest with her hands and flicking her hair to the left. An assistant named Wu Dangxia approaches her, but Feng reminds Sue Jishi to refrain from speaking and maintaining her image. They manage to move through the crowd and out of the limelight. Sue Jishi feels tired and frustrated but doesn't know what to blame for her current mood. As she's lost in thought, Mr. Sue walks by while on the phone. He starts talking about a geological exploration technique, detailing a paper he read. Sue Jishi grows angry when she hears him say that the paper's author is a female Chinese doctor. She tries to avoid him, but he insists she can't intervene in someone else's call. She even tries to gaslight him that he still doesn't believe in women's abilities. Eventually, she leaves the place, still feeling frustrated. In a hurry to attend an event, Feng instructs Sue Jishi to follow his lead and learn an English word, yes. He guides her through the event via an earbud and tells her what to say and where to go. Sue Jishi is clueless about the people and the occasion. She arrives at a table where Aunt Hua invites Sujishi to sit with her, but Sujishi doesn't know who she is. Aunt Hua compliments Sujishi's dress but also bolts her as a walking hanger of clothes. Mr. Suhiron approaches Sujishi and extends his hand towards her, and they walk towards the stage with applause from the audience. Mr. Suhiron starts a romantic dance with her. Sujishi surprises him by revealing that she went rock climbing the other day, but Huron doesn't remember it. This makes him suspicious of seeing her hands in conversation at the stairs. While dancing, Sujishi stumbles in high heels, and Huron questions her skills. Su tries to imitate Violet, hoping to perfect her dance moves, but loses her confidence. She eventually stops dancing and asks the musician to play faster music. Su removes her heels and dances in her way, leaving Huron struggling to keep up with her energy. Despite their differences, the audience appreciates their performance. Later, Su confronts Feng about Mu Zialun, who is revealed to be Su Jin's boyfriend. Everyone calls him Huron. She asks Feng about their relationship, but he admits she never asked him about her sister's emotional life. Afterward, we learned about the relationship between Su Jinquins and Mu Zialun. Feng briefs Su Jinquins about Mu Zialun, the 30-year-old president of M. Moser Mining Group. 3 years ago, Feng met Violet Chrysanthemum, and the two developed a crush on each other. A month later, Mr. Mu and Su Jin returned from Antarctica. That's how they established their relationship. Su Jinquins inquires about the period of their relationship, but Feng changes the conversation because he wants to increase their contact period until Su Jinquins returns. Later, Huron's uncle tells him that he found out that Huron and Su Jinquins know each other's showmanship, but Huron replies that they are just livening up the atmosphere. The uncle is impressed by Su Jinquin's self-discipline and finds Su among the women who stayed too long to become mothers-in-law. Sujishi surprises the uncle with a witty comment, and the ceremony speech continues despite her desire to cease the endless activity. As Huron approaches her sister because he notices something strange about Sujishi, he asks Xiaoman if the second uncle came alone and wonders if he is running naked. Xiaoman is confused and questions her about the strange remark. She tells him to not delay the ceremony and leave the confusion. Meanwhile, Feng walks by, and Sujishi quickly grabs his arm to tell him about the scripted relationship between his sister and Mr. Mu. The proposal begins with Huron's rehearsed words as he expresses his love for Sujishi and asks her to marry him. Sujishi still waits to learn what is happening on her first mimicking day. The audience rises from their seats and agrees with Feng's proposal. He instructs Sujishi to say yes in English, but she doesn't follow his command. Feng informs her that her sister and Mr. Mu's relationship is part of a scripted play, and it's time for Mu to propose. However, Sujishi refuses to comply, thinking that Su Jinquin is too random, and she cannot agree to the marriage proposal. Her rejection shocks everyone, especially Huron. The audience starts chanting that Su Jin refused, and Mr. Mu is also present. Later, at home, Huron is angry at Sujishi for disrespecting him in front of the audience. He asks Xiaoman for an explanation, but she suggests he rest first. Huron is upset that no one knows the details of the proposal and why Su Jin rejected him. Xiaoman hints that if Huron is interested in Su Jinquin, he shows no interest. Gao suggests that he should personally ask for her apology tomorrow. Huron demands a reasonable explanation from Su Jinquin when she comes to the company tomorrow. Sujishi visits her sister's home, and she is astonished at the extensive, overloaded house. She is sure that her sister rarely rests to achieve a good life, and it's no wonder she's stressed. While talking, Feng receives a call from a customer who heard that the marriage proposal was rejected, but he does not answer. Feng requests Sujishi to cooperate with Mr. Mu to make money, but Sujishi hesitates to comply with the company's contract. Eventually, she agrees to the agreement of cooperation and remembers her childhood memories with her twin sister. They used to pick up shooting stars, and Sujishi promised to be a geologist while her sister wanted to be on TV. Feng sends Sujishi an encrypted message with Zhao Jin's testimonies, hoping she will replace his sister. Initially hesitant, Sujishi changes her mind and plans a surprise for Feng. The next day, Huron avoids facing people who attended yesterday's event and sits in his car with Gao. Sujishi approaches the vehicle, and Gao asks Huron if he would forgive Su Jin if she apologized. Huron says he needs an apology and for Su Jin to beg for forgiveness. To his surprise, Sujishi kneels and proposes to Huron, putting a ring on his finger and hugging him. Huron is confused but tries to sort things out with a fake smile. In her mind, Sujishi vows to protect Su Jin's life. In his office, Huron asks Su why she rejected the proposal yesterday and wants an explanation of today's proposal. Huron is upset that someone who breaks all the rules can't be with him. He criticized Su for changing her hairstyle without notice, not doing a skilled waltz, and her body shape. Su explains that she didn't have time to tell him and that the atmosphere wasn't warm enough, so she changed the dance genre. She apologizes for not communicating better. Huron says that Su's change has affected his life and that he needs a reasonable explanation. Otherwise, they may need to terminate their cooperation and seek compensation for damages. Su tries to explain that her personality has changed due to her desire to transition events smoothly. She's been in business for 3 years and wants to bring a fresh perspective. Huron remains skeptical and demands a better explanation. Huron questions why Su didn't inform him beforehand. She replies that it's for the best effect. The move thrives as she breaks through her character and the counter-proposal propagation effect. The company's share price rises quickly and is expected to continue. Huron is impressed but warns Sue about breaking known rules, stating that it could lead to disaster. Sue brushes it off, but Huron is left wondering about her transformation. Later, he discovers everyone is talking about Sue's transformation on social media. Feng and Sue discuss continuing their one-month agreement, but Feng receives a note with strict rules that shock Sue. The notice requires Party A to provide support and Party B to stay home and date 3 times a month. Sue is uncertain about the future of their relationship. Sitting beside Feng, Sue is reading a script on her phone that emphasizes dating is not just about physical interactions like holding hands or hugs. It can also mean staying at home. She expresses frustration and sets her phone aside. Feng is worried that she may want to end the contract again, but she clarifies that for such collaborations, it is easy for others to assume that she and Mu are dating and he's just taking advantage of the situation. Then, Xiaoxia calls her and informs her that a famous fried chicken chain has invited them to a live broadcast because of their anti-marriage proposal, which has gained popularity. Sue is excited about the opportunity, and Feng agrees with her. However, they both realize that President Mu will also be in the same live broadcast, and the investors of the fried chicken company are the M. Moser Group. They plan to use Xiaojin's name to make money. Sue decides to renew and redraw the contract. At Zealand's home, her mother says she doesn't like Xiaojin becoming lively and cheerful but is relieved that he's getting married. She also has to consider corporate succession law. She leaves cheerfully and lets the others have a chat. Xiaoman takes the tablet, sees the hot search of what happened to Su Jin's proposal, and becomes amazed by this script. Xiu tells her about Xiaojin's career transition and asks if she believes in this and why she wants to change her career. She explains to him that the girl suddenly starts to change herself on purpose to get his attention. She then hangs up the phone as Xiu inquires about her sweaty heart. Hoa Ling then takes the tab from her as he has to go to another meeting, and she reluctantly gives him the tab. Now, Gao Ling and Zhu seem to go toward their office with a bunch of their assistants following them. Gao Ling explained that Zhu and Su Jin will be live together for fried chicken at 8 p.m. on Friday. Zhu warns him that if he plays around with Xiaoman again, there will be a year-end bonus deduction for 3 months. Gao Ling explains that not this time, Zhu is the major shareholder, and if they show up together, their profits will be doubled. Zhu questions when he invests in this company. Gao Ling explains that he ordered fried chicken for him, and he liked the sweetness of their ketchup and decided to support them by investing millions of dollars in them. Now, they are a national chain. Zhu ends up not going in the broadcast. Feng informs Su that Mr. Mu was busy and dismissed the broadcast. However, Su inquired about the reason for the dismissal. Feng explained how embarrassing it would be for Su to live alone on just a few files. She assured Su that she was more valuable than that and not to worry about how she was perceived. Xiaoxia brought several salad boxes for lunch during work, but Su rejected them, stating that she had no appetite that day. She then asked Shan to touch up her makeup. Sitting in front of the mirror, Su felt sad that everything was being arranged for her, and she couldn't even eat. The company desperately tried to set up live broadcasts, and she had already tried to quit and rely on her sister's help. Shan advised her to be happy in life. Then Su asked about changing her makeup for the broadcast. The manager gathered his team and made program changes in the broadcast scene. The anchor was unsure about asking Su questions, fearing she might get angry. However, the manager reassured her that Su had an excellent temper and that she wouldn't get angry about the questions. Suddenly, Su arrived at the scene, and the anchor greeted her as a sweet little white flower. Su greeted everyone warmly and introduced herself. In Mu's office, he was busy working on his laptop when Gao Ling brought him 2 meal boxes of fried chicken. Gao Ling also mentioned that their headquarters was on the 20th floor of the same building as Su Jin's live broadcast. Mu was uninterested and allowed Gao Ling to leave early for the day. However, before he left, he wanted to say something about Su Jin, but Mu stopped him and ordered him to check Xiaoman's situation. Mu then opened the broadcast on his phone. During the live broadcast, the anchor asked Su about her boyfriend, who was invited but unable to attend. Su explained that he was too busy and promised to bring him next time. The anchor also asked about her proposal, which was a hot search. Su explained that one must give herself an idea or frame why she is proposing, and that 2 people must explore their emotional model if they are comfortable together. She also said that it is not easy to offer an ideal object. Seeing it live on his phone, thinking about Su Jin's transformation, and reading live chats of people, he decides to go to the live broadcast. Now, while Su Jin and the anchor are addressing the audience about the fried chicken, Mu appears at the live broadcast and also brings the fried chicken. Su Jin becomes very shocked to see Mu. In the car, Xiaoman also becomes very surprised to see her brother at the live broadcast and tells Gao Ling to come and see him quickly. Su is sitting in a room with Mu, and she asks him why he is there. He replies that he cannot do what she is asking. Mu then gently introduces himself as Su's fiancé and removes a small piece of hair from her face. The anchor then invites them to try the new products. Su starts eating the chicken, and as the live chat rolls, she receives many comments about her recent weight gain. Sue agrees that she has gained some weight but advises the audience not to conform to aesthetic labels set by others. She also adds the benefits of eating fried chicken, explaining that if it is chewed slowly at least 30 times before swallowing, it can be a good source of moderate fat intake to speed up metabolism. Later, as they sit in a car, Gao Ling engages Xiaoman in a conversation about her novels, and the script changes. Xiaoman reveals that she is secretly in love but doesn't want to tell her brother. Gao Ling says that they should protect their loved ones. She adds that protecting each other is the first rule of love. On a live broadcast, Fang is the manager for the keywords on live chat, and he replies that the netizens are free to comment. The anchor is surprised that their fried chickens have sold out, as people like Xiaojun very much. Anchor, Fang, and Xiaoxia applaud for the Sue. The anchor thanks Sue and requested to say a few lines to end the live broadcast. Sue, still while eating the chicken, adds to never waste their food. From behind the scenes, Fang tangles Sue to stop eating. After the live broadcast, Fang warmly thanks Mu for coming into the broadcast. Xiaoxia, in a hurry and worried, comes to Fang to tell her that Sue has gone missing with the fried chickens, and she has looked everywhere but couldn't find her. Fang tells her to hurry up and find Sue. Mu sees Sue on the stairs enjoying her fried chickens. She then leaves as she hears Fang saying, "Where is she?" In the evening, Mu calls Xiaoman as she is going to her room. She reluctantly sits before him, assuming he discusses her fall in love. But Mu asks what she has earlier said about Sue, that she has changed his style because she likes him. Xiaoman, surprised, puts her hand on his forehead and tells him he has a fever. Mu says that Sue is not simple. With flashbacks in his head, he adds that she further attracts his attention by breaking his rules, refusals, and then welcoming him with a proposal in public. Mu considered this scheme very deep and psychological. Xiaoman tells him his heart is beating faster, and he seems confused. He replies that his heartbeat could be faster as he is not hooked. He adds that he ended up on the live broadcast due to netizens' comments. Xiaoman tells him that it is obvious she has fallen in love with him and is trying her best to catch her brother's attention. Mu leaves while saying that he will figure this out. Xiaoman noticed her brother being weird. Sue and Fang are sitting on the couch. He advises and gives her tips about the live broadcast, such as that her face is not sideways and not looking towards the lens. At a 30-degree angle, her face is best looking. But Sue seems to ignore all this. She tells Fang to go down to the business and sends a message to Mr. Mu to meet Sue as soon as possible. Sue, dressed up in a heavy furry overcoat, complains about it, saying that she will negotiate a contract extension for serious business cooperation, and he dresses up her like this. Fang explains that this goes everywhere as she cannot avoid cameras. She considers this entertainment circle as Truman. As she leaves to meet Mu, she keeps a hammer with herself. While she was waiting at the dining table, the waiter inquired about what to order. As she is telling him about her order, Mu arrives. Sue then talks about continuing their cooperation, which will expire in 1 month. While eating his food, Mu replies that collaboration can only be pursued once he wants to. Sue assures that she has confidence and is irreplaceable. On this, Mu responds to what she has said, that he can find another star from another industry, and asks Sue why she thinks she is most suitable. Sue explains to him that now he gets to the point that in just 1 month expiry, he just arranged a proposal. What is the reason behind this arrangement? It can be the marriage urging by the elders in the family. She asks him to continue the cooperation, and some companies share the company with the dividend decided by both parties. Mu has already considered continuing the contract, so he wants more terms. Sue sees the terms, which were just scripts of dating and appointments, and questions about it. On this, Mu explains that it is just pretending to be a couple, and she will be happy as he will see the specific terms of her share and dividend. Good Mr. Mu, if they have finished talking, she is eating now, says Sue. While eating, Sue gives Mu her WeChat contact. Mu, on seeing the name of Dr. Sue, becomes surprised. With a cough, Sue suddenly explains to him that it is just because of the proverb that an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and advises everyone to eat apples. On seeing the reporters taking their pictures, Mu decides to leave. They are traveling in the car, and the reporters are still chasing them. Sue tells him to pull over the car. She then heads towards the reporters and asks them to take shots of the car while her boyfriend is driving the vehicle wildly. She then tells Mu that she is going to move. Mu refuses as Xiaojun cannot drive the car. Sue gets to the driving seat and also orders Mu to sit. She then fastens Mu's seat herself. Sue then drives the car wildly and gets rid of the chasing reporters. Mu seems to breathe a little heavily, and when he leaves the vehicle, he vomits and says he hates accidents most. Sue sees a meteorite in the sky and is amazed to see it. Sue then explains about the meteorites to him. When they hit the ground, they melt and cool to form tektite. Mu also becomes very surprised at how much she knows about geology. They then talk about meteorites and how the first tektite was discovered in the Czech Montevi River. Sue requests they return after seeing the stars if they are not in a hurry. Sue seems cold, and Mu decides to take off his overcoat for Sue, but Sue ignores him and heads towards the car. The reporters are fixing their cars as they arrive at the parking station. Sue suggests a new contract, proposing a more private meeting place on a plane next time at home. Mu responds that he doesn't think they need to continue their cooperation. Sue is surprised, and Mu explains that the series is more than just a partnership, as he rejected Sue's marriage proposal and her proposal to continue the contract. He hopes Sue's team will find a perfect solution, then leaves. Sue arrives home and is welcomed by Fang, Shan, and Xioxia, who congratulate her but are disappointed to hear that the contract won't continue. Meanwhile, Mu discusses with his sister that he doesn't want to continue the contract due to repeated violations and anti-proposals. The following day, Fang asks Sue about continuing the contract. Sue replies that Mu will beg to continue the contract. In a meeting with the company's directors, Mu suggests a new business of nickel batteries, but other board members oppose it as it's too risky. They recommend staying in the mining business for copper mines. After the meeting, Gao Ling and Mu are frustrated about how conservative the board members are. The most recent director seems unhappy with Mu, and Mu adds that he will prove his ability one day. Meanwhile, Fang brings Su Mu's information file from childhood to adulthood and tells her that the company needs a girlfriend on various occasions. However, he later discovers that Mu only wants to improve his popularity. Mu's mother forces him to find someone for marriage, and because of Su Jin-em, Moser's group becomes a hit in the youth market, which benefits the group. The story continues as Fang and Su Jishi discuss the technique of how Huron advertises his company by getting into different source industries. During the conversation, Xioxia arrives and shows them photos of herself taken by a paparazzi. Su Jishi is not surprised, but Fang is shocked by Xioxia's muscular appearance, which goes against the rules of her contract. However, Su Jishi does not care about it and plans to diverge the building narrative of her as less feminine. She decides to post pictures of her melons by faking their increase in size, which works well as multiple sports brands approach her, and netizens start to call her more feminine. She plans to post a text message stating that high heels do not meet high standards for women, which many brands certainly hate. Fang and Xioxia try to stop her, but she goes ahead and posts it anyway. Later, Gao Lin handed Huron a new plan about recent research on nickel ores, which he found compelling for the discussion in tomorrow's meeting. However, Su Jishi's post makes her trending, which agitates Huron so much that he throws Gao's phone into the swimming pool. Gao retaliates by throwing his watch into the pool. Huron demands that Gao retrieve his watch, but Gao jumps in himself to grab it. While in the pool, he is surprised to see Su Jishi walking towards him. She tells him that she has made their couple Jingsu a leading foundation in media, which also benefits his company. Despite all this, Huron still believes that working with her is risky. Su Jishi surprises him with her geological skills by telling him nickel ore is more abundant in country. He dares her to jump into the pool. If she does, he will cooperate with her. Su Jishi jumps without hesitation, but Huron grabs her and warns her that she must follow his commands if she wants to work with him. Su Jishi replies that she will turn that worthless thing into something worthy for him, leaving him speechless. The next day, Su Jishi visits Huron's office and offers to help him research the development of more effective nickel batteries. However, Huron is uncertain about her intentions as she also has her hammer, which could expose her. So, Su changes the topic and suggests helping research high-capacity batteries. Huron agrees, but the situation becomes even more unpredictable as Su is always on the verge of getting exposed, and Huron keeps questioning the recent change in her character. While researching, they exchange coffee, and Su reluctantly takes responsibility for a mistake. In return, she demands an extension to her contract, but Huron offers her something else. Suddenly, the electricity goes off, and Su gets scared, grabbing Huron's arm. They try to leave the library but keep bumping into each other. Eventually, Huron picks her up, but Su is not blushing and resists being carried. She tells Huron she is angry because he is not reviewing his contract and asks why he wants to renew it. Huron doesn't find her reasons satisfactory and refuses to renew the contract, which frustrates Su. Later, at an evening dinner with his business friends Mr. Gao and Mrs. Gao, Huron is asked why he didn't bring his girlfriend. His uncle hints at their separation and reminds him not to date celebrities as they often get bad news. Huron needs to be more guarded in his speech. While he tangles in a bitter conversation, Su Jishi plans something unpredictable. She glamorously prepares for the event and makes a striking entrance to the dinner party. Huron approaches her and asks why she is there. She replies that she is not there to cause any problems. Instead, she pulls him towards her and kisses him. Everyone is surprised by such an intimate act between them. Huron finds himself tangled with Su for a longer relationship, where he mentions the contract renewal. Still, she says that it was essential to fade away all the news regarding the breakup to maintain his respect in the industry and to talk to Tianjin's President Gao. Afterward, we see a fascinating conversation between Mr. Gao and Su Jishi. Her stance about the nickel batteries insists Mr. Gao invite Huron to do his recent business research, which surprises him and his second uncle. Afterward, we see them having a final verdict about the contract, where Huron starts to remind her of all the instances where she broke the contract. Su interferes in his talk and straightens it to the point that their agreement must secure both parties' rights. So there should also be rules by her will. Firstly, there should be no dating. Secondly, she will be a shareholder in his company. And lastly, she has the right to respond individually to the media. Such rules trigger Huron, and he dares her that even if he renews the contract, it will give her more problems if she messes up things with him. Further, she tells him that her biggest weakness is being a substitute, to which he replies that her most significant strength is having their corporation with one she works with. Such an impressive stance made Huron renew the contract, but he proposed additional conditions. After acknowledging them, Sue terms Huron a crackhead because he conditions her not to fall in love with him. Sue thinks of herself as an independent woman who can never love a narcissist like Huron. The story follows Sue Jinkwins, a talented actress, and Fang, her mentor, who presents her with a storyline about a girl who struggles to attract anyone until she receives a mysterious note that allows her to name anyone she wants to fall in love with. However, Sue is not impressed with this plot and suggests that the note should be a death note instead. Despite Fang's attempts to persuade her to act, Sue remains unconvinced until Fang plays an emotional card and convinces her to take on the role to help her sister's career. The next day, Sue finds acting challenging, and even Xioxia, her colleague, suggests that she take a break. However, Fang teaches her an eye-catching technique to improve her acting skills, telling her that falling in love can help her act better. Fang and Xioxia suggest that Huron, a co-star, plays her lover in the drama to avoid media gossip. However, Huron rejects the idea, and Sue becomes frustrated with Fang's attempts to convince him. In the meantime, Huron's mother insists he marry a girl, but he is uninterested. Sue talks to him about her ambitions, and he tries to comfort her by acknowledging that she is faking her illness. Meanwhile, Sue prepares for the shoot, and Fang instructs her on the various acting scenarios. She expresses her admiration for Fang's efforts to teach her acting skills. She also inquires about Guangtong's male hero role, but Fang tells her they have no option other than to cast Guangtong since Huron disagrees. During a meeting with Zheng Yuan, Huron presents a production plan but declines his invitation for personal reasons. However, Huron drops a bombshell by revealing that Sue is his girlfriend, leaving everyone stunned. On the film set, everyone looks exhausted because it is the 116th take of a scene. Sue Jishi struggles to deliver her lines, and the supporting actors are not helping. The director is also frustrated with her performance. Zheng is surprised to discover how difficult the life of an actor can be. In pursuing Sue Jinkwin's career, we see her sister facing numerous hardships. Even though she had a lot of delicious fried chicken to eat, she wanted to be left alone. Seeing her sad mood, Fang tried to relieve her heart by asking if she was still feeling down. Sue Jishi expressed her defeated emotions, saying she was trying her best to make her sister's career work, but she thought she was making it worse than her absence. She regretted taking her place because she felt like a fool in acting. Fang told an instance of Sue Jinkwin's first performance, where she got the role of a maid and was slapped by the villain. She found it hard to bear in front of the great crowd to be hit. He then questioned Sue Jishi about what she could have done. Sue guessed that Sue Jin cried. Fang uttered excellent words of wisdom. He said it was not essential what made her cry but what she did after calling. Sue Jin asked to act and received the same role. The status she got was not achieved overnight, so Fang just wanted Sue Jishi to hold her place because of the struggle she had been through. After hearing it, Sue Jishi is moved. She thanked Zhang for motivating her and started reading the copy. Shan and Xioxia then arrive and inform them that Huron might be waiting for Sue Jishi. Zhang gets angry at Huron for not complying with his request. But when Shan mentions Huron's name to Dean Zhang, accompanying him, Sue Jishi expresses an intriguing concern. As Huron and Zhang walk, they meet Sue Jishi, who runs towards them excitedly. Huron steps forward to receive her, but she ignores him and goes straight to Zhang, introducing herself as his fan. Huron shakes hands with Zhang, covering up his insult. Sue Jishi, without being mindful of being in Sue Jinkwin's place, tells them that she recently read Huron's research and wants to take a picture with him. Huron finds it strange, but she insists and also includes him in the picture. After Zhang leaves, Huron tells her that he agrees with all her requests because she visits to assist with his business work. Despite the favorable confusion, Sue Jishi informs him that she is here for the film shoot, not his business work. Huron then inquires about the reason for her geological knowledge. Sue Jishi blames him for being a narcissist because he can't believe a woman can have multiple hobbies, and she leaves readily. At the film shooting, the director briefs Sue about the scene where her classmate bullies her. After getting hit by a chalk, she must act like she was wronged. When the scene is ready to shoot, Sue tells them to wait a bit and starts to correct the mathematical formula on the board. The supporting actor starts to chant at her, showing educational skills rather than acting. Huron also comes to the shooting and mentions to the director that Sue has made the proper correction on the board. He also rebukes a female supporting actor for having less than an average level of education. But Sue doesn't praise Huron for taking her side. Instead, she appeases the supporting actor. The shoot takes place, and Sue Jishi hits Sue twice with chalk while she erases the board, creating a gloomy scene that impresses the director, who passes the scene. After the shoot, Huron leaves, causing Sue Jishi to look concerned about where he goes, but she shows discernment when Fang and Xioxia tell Huron that she has gone due to some work. Later, we learn that Dean Zhang is depressed by his family's scenarios. His son recently divorced, and his granddaughter lives with him. Huron's problem is that Dean Zhang is a crucial member of their upcoming company projects, and if he doesn't comply, their success will be delayed. Amid worry, Huron thinks of a solution. He contacts Xioxia to talk with Sue, but Fang tells him she is busy taking acting classes. Huron then decides to help her by teaching simulated love exercises, hoping that she will also assist him in return. His plan works well, and he also enlists the help of Dean Jang's daughter, who is a big fan of Soo-jin. Gao is surprised by Huron's sacrificing stance, but he shocks him by telling them that he will not teach Soo himself but help her learn acting. In the morning, Gao gathers romantic snippets from movies and gives them to Huron. Huron tells Gao that he will make an appointment with Soo because he will teach her about acting. Behind him, Huron takes an overview of the snippets. Both of them go to visit her. Lu Jishi asks if she was not scheduled to date Secretary Gao. Huron replies that he is just there to supervise him to run things according to the contract. Gao adds that Huron's presence is also essential to avoid gossiping about her with another guy. Su Jishi likes such a caring comment, which pleases Huron. He gets straight to the point and tells her that the primary purpose of the task is to sort out her feelings and state of heart. So he hands her a bracelet to check her heart rate, which she admires as a good idea. Soo is being trained to simulate love. Gao suggests Soo should experience things that couples usually do, like riding bicycles and eating sushi from love boxes. Huron follows them throughout the whole time. When they walk near the lake, Soo appreciates the view. Gao compliments her and says that she's as beautiful as the place. Soo holds Gao's arm as Gao tells her that intimate physical contact can be heartwarming. Huron watches them but can't resist when Gao covers Soo with his coat. So Huron covers Gao with his jacket to keep him warm because he has many responsibilities. This creates humor in the story, especially when Soo's heart rate reaches 97. Huron then commands Gao to do some tasks in the office, grabs Soo's hand, and walks away. Huron takes Soo to a restaurant with a home experience hall, which could be effective for her. While they walk, Soo sees a couple holding hands and grabs Huron's arm. He is surprised and asks her what she's doing. Soo ignores him and talks about the furniture. She asks him to say intimate words like other couples do, just to simulate love. As Huron calls her honey, they check their heart rates. Soo's heart rate is only 70, even less than when she was with Gao. On the other hand, Huron's heart rate spikes to 120. When Soo asks about it, he lies and says it's average. She holds Huron's hands, and when his heart rate doesn't change, she gets angry and calls Gao because he's better than Huron. Huron asks her to stand before him, and they both fall as he tries to get closer. However, he continues to approach her. She pushes him away, and their heart rates skyrocket. Soo blames the increase on hitting her head on the wardrobe. Huron wants to prove that he can increase her heart rate, so he decides to change the place, but Soo apologizes, saying she's tired and needs to nap. The next day, we see Xiaoman carrying a gift for someone. Gao Ling inquired if it was for his boyfriend. She requests him to let her go because he is waiting for her. Gao listens to the call and figures out they are meeting at a nearby building. On his way, he encounters a guy who befools Xiaoman by taking gifts from him and lying that he needs to go to work overnight. Gao follows him to a bar where he chills with his friends and talks foul about Xiaoman. On returning from the bar, Gao beats the crap out of him. The next day, Huron finds himself thinking about Soo-jin while working. Gao informs him about Xiaoman's boyfriend's misconduct and how he treats her. Later, Huron receives a call from Zhang, who tells him that Soo-jin has been scolded by her director and is not listening to anyone. Huron goes to her house and surprises Su Jishi by telling her he wants to see her cry. However, he then reveals that he wants her to accompany him to visit Annan, Dean Zhang's granddaughter, who is a big fan of Soo-jin. Soo-jin agrees to go, and both Zhang and Xiaoxia are surprised at how quickly Huron persuades her. At Annan's house, Huron dresses Soo-jin like a fairy teacher. Annan is overjoyed to meet her dream fairy in real life and touches her for reassurance. Huron brings a fairy dress for Annan, which makes her extremely happy as her birth parents give her little time. Soo-jin and Huron play with Annan and enjoy each other's company. At one point, Soo-jin gets sad seeing Annan caressed by her parents. Soo-jin tells her that she is her sister fairy and that she must not be painful from now on, which brings a smile to Annan's face. After a heartwarming day with Annan, Huron thanks Soo-jin and tells her a secret that turns out to be a joke, making Soo-jin laugh for the first time. In the context of a business meeting, we see Huron facing difficulty in convincing a pivotal member to join his research project. But things take a different turn when Dean Zhang arrives at the meeting, leaving the second uncle of Huron in awe. Zhang agrees to work as a consultant for M. Foster Company, which impresses everyone present. On the other hand, we see Su Jishi excelling at her film shoot. She thinks of a heartwarming moment with Huron, gets into character, and delivers an outstanding performance. This time, the director and everyone else praised her acting skills. While Huron is watching her at the shooting site, Su approaches him, and they converse. Suddenly, a guy comes running towards them, holding a case. He is about to hit Su, but Huron pulls her towards him, creating a romantic moment. Later that night, Huron is reminded of Su's film lines, and his heart beats so fast that he can't control it. And that's how the first part of this drama ends. Well guys, if you liked this video and you want a second part, comment below with the word part 2. Also subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell and like the video. But most important, leave a comment. Until the next video.